I've already been warned not to disrespect the Irish. Okay, you know what? This is part of the problem with the Irish. I'm saying that as Irish. Is you would rather live in lies. Really, you know what it really is? It's really because you want to protect the Catholic part. Because it's the Irish Catholic, right? The two go hand in hand. Irish Catholic, Irish Catholic. Yeah. And then just throw the Irish mob into that. I'm not saying everybody Irish is in the mob. I'm just saying the mob and the Catholic, Irish mob and the Catholic Church, you know. But the Catholic Church never seems, never is on the right side of anything. But they are a perfect example of just holy victimhood all the time. Oh, we're being persecuted. Yeah, but you never want to look at yourself. What are you doing wrong? A lot. And to continue to make it great again, it means we must brush it under the rug, because Jesus taught so much of doing that. Do people remember this movie, Gangs of New York? I mean, it was a true story, really. I mean, in many ways. I mean, the Protestants against this was the Protestant side. And they made them just look like animals. I think they were the Protestant side, weren't they? Yeah. Yeah, they were. Because he was always calling the other side the popery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was total war bound in New York there with the 5 Points Gang. Then you get this movie put out. It was a great movie. Daniel Day-Lewis was best movie, he ever was in. Perfecto. Everybody should watch it. And the way the Catholic Church is made to look in it, they're made to look like the criminals. I'm not saying the Protestants are perfect, but clearly they were onto something in England, okay? And the very fact that the Catholic Church because they know who they are. The leadership with the Catholic Church knows who it serves, especially at the very top. Because all they do is run around and we're being persecuted, except there was a reason for it. Yeah. Nobody was trying to persecute you. Not even King James I persecuted you. He didn't. You came over here saying we're being persecuted, and you most definitely weren't persecuted by the second king. That's what you were being called out on. See, by the time the Irish came here, the Irish Catholic Church, the Catholic Church in general, by the time it came here, King James I was long gone, who they all hated. Their son had been in and then removed, and then they likely were, I think they were hit with persecuting fines under William the Orange, I think, because William the Orange took over after the people wanted King James II out. That's everything. And if the Catholic Church was an honest church, they would say that. They don't. They play this we're holy victimhood stuff going on all the time. These are Catholic martyrs. There's no reason for any of this, but this church it lies. It leads people astray. And there just will never be a coming to moment for most people because they would rather protect the denomination called Catholicism than they stand on Jesus's word. End of story. I've said it before. I get really angry about it. I know, because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. All of it. But they have these are martyrs, Irish Catholic martyrs, all Irish Catholic martyrs, 24 Irish men and women who have been raised up or canonized for both a life of heroic virtue and for dying for their Catholic faith between the reign of King Henry VIII, he was not a bad king either, and Catholic emancipation in 1829. Have you ever, has the church, has the parishes, has it ever taken any responsibility? Rarely. And then after they do, they want to claim some holy victimhood bullshit. So I would expect the Irish to because what? Isn't that why you got to drink so much? Right? I mean, really, the only way to get through life. I mean, isn't that the reason the Irish are depicted as drunks? I'm not saying that's all there is to them. Again, I'm Irish. So, I mean, but there's a reason. I mean, in order to live in the lie, you need to be inebriated as much as possible. The lie of the Catholic Church. It's called Irish Catholic for a reason. Yeah, it's a short article. It's about really, but like what Gangs of New York was about. It's about the five families, right? The five, or I'm sorry, not the five families. The 5 points. I meant the 5 points in New York. Yeah, the Irish collective violence and New York Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church frames it that they were protecting the Irish. Oh, stop it! I mean, the amount of excuses that church makes. Can imagine what the books will say when God opens them on Judgment Day for that. Because there's never taking any responsibility, never any. Rarely, rarely, rarely. So, this is then, let's move forward, because this is the reason again, I mean, moving forward from, like when the Irish Catholic first came here and the war and why the Protestants had issue with it. Okay, they had good reason. I mean, like, we need to be able to be a country that can be honest about those things. Not to go after any Catholics. The Catholic Church is here. You're not going to get rid of it. But to shove it under the carpet and continue to act like it's the first church or that it somehow represents Jesus is bullshit. It is bullshit. And given that Jesus himself said you will know them by their deeds, then that's what, if anybody that wants to say they're following Christ, that's what they should do. And then when you look at the deeds of that church, from England all the way to America and everywhere else, it has a mass problem. And it will always make excuses. If that is if you want to live in the lies, then, just keep hitting the bottle. Okay? I mean, there's a reason the Catholic Church wanted so much, that's so prevalent in Ireland. Not talking about everybody in Ireland. I'm just saying. What has resulted because of your loyalty to the Catholic Church? You're more loyal to the Catholic Church than you are to Jesus. That's how most Catholics are, though. You are more protective of that damn denomination than you are of Jesus. Not that Jesus needs protection, but I'm just saying, again, with when you read the Bible and Jesus said, if this was my kingdom, my people would be standing up for me. Yeah, more people stand up to protect the Catholic institution than they follow Jesus' word. This is a bog bodies, yeah. All these bodies, that have now vindicated King James, because that's one of the paintbrushes he's painted over as he burned witches at the stake. Well, like I said, it's one thing to burn your candles to your goddesses. But Ireland, and they weren't the only ones, but they were big ones, were sacrificing human beings, most especially kings. When kings didn't do things when they didn't get a good crop, they blamed the king, and they wouldn't just kill him. They would do all that, this, like dismember them, disembowel them, decapitate. The worst things ever. Then the Catholic Church wants to claim, well, we're trying to ease people out of the pagan practices slowly. Yeah, okay, that's ridiculous. You wanted to be a part of the pagan practices, which is why when you look big into James the First's history, it was the Catholics that wanted to blow him up in Parliament. Why? Because he knew the Catholic Church was bullshit. At least he was a leader that wasn't tolerating their bullshit.